your music is the world of opera, right? Like we know, the world knows you from opera. You won the Tony for a musical, South Pacific, that is a much more classical score. And so I imagine, like this is a totally different thing for you, like you said. Is it different for your instrument to sing pop versus opera?
Not at all. You know, I love challenges, and I remember when they proposed to me South Pacific, I was like, oh my God, a musical. And so many people told me from the operatic world, like, if you do that, you're gonna ruin your operatic career and you'll ruin your voice because they chose a week. And I said, I'm gonna follow my instincts. And it was the best time that I had, 15 years ago with South Pacific. So it was a good choice. Singing these songs, as I said, I don't change much. I just use my voice, and I keep my routine. I keep warming up every day. I keep taking care of my instrument because that's my main treasure, and I consider myself a singer first, and then the other things. But and then a dancer. No. No, I just come prepared at night after the show.
Jet can make magic, so.
I have a gig, So I just try to be respectful to my instrument, to be there and to treat it well, and to sing the way I sing.
So I'm going to wrap up by asking you this last question. We started by talking about the intersection between Shakespeare and Max. We don't have Shakespeare to ask things of him around these days, but Max is here and was involved in this process. That's the other thing, is like sometimes you do a jukebox musical and the people who wrote the songs are just not involved at all, but I know that Max was. So I'm curious if each of you feel comfortable sharing a piece, either a note, an insight, a comment that Max gave to you that shapes a choice you make on stage each night.
I feel like Max, when he was in the rehearsal process, he came in during the tech process in Toronto, and it seemed like he was a kid in the candy shop. It was a world that I don't think Max was too familiar with, and it seemed like he was just kind of sitting and enjoying what was being thrown at him. Now, I was really excited to hear that we were recording the album with him, because I was excited to see like that switch.
In his native habitat.
That's his area. He knows that's his domain, and there was a switch. But Max is such a kind, generous man, and I didn't know who Max was. Coming just like Paolo, I'm not too familiar with pop culture. But once I heard how much he had done, you think that type of person is, going to be maybe entitled or something, and he's not. He's very, very lovely.
Well, that's amazing to hear. We love lovely collaborators, and it shows in a show that really is all about love. I don't know if anyone, Melanie, we can also go down the line if there's just an insight that was given to you that you kind of take with you every night.
I remember, because he was very, very, very involved all the way through rehearsals when we were first putting the show together, even at workshop stage. So he was there. He had a lot of input. He spoke to the actors a lot. I remember Max notoriously didn't give interviews before now. And I remember he was about to do his first press interview because of Juliet. And I remember we were headed to the studio actually from rehearsals, because we recorded the London cast album while we were in rehearsal. So we didn't know what the show was going to be or how people were going to like it or anything, but we were headed to the studio, and I remember asking him, why have you never done any interviews before? Why don't you let people know about you? And he said, well, because it's not about me. It's about the work. It's about what I make with other people people don't want to hear about me. I'm just a guy, you know, just doing what I love to do. And that ethos, which is very similar to mine, has always and really melded me and this project and him into one entity. Because it's not about me. It's about coming to work every day and trying to tell the very best story that I can tell. It's about you. It's about all of you. And if we can be on stage together, doing the very best we can, so that you're not seeing us, but you're seeing Francois, you see Anne, Shakespeare, Lance, Angelique. It's the work. And that, I think, was the most important thing that Max ever gave to me.
I don't think we need any more Max Martin insight than that. I think that is brilliant. Thank you for sharing it. That is the note to end on. That is the enticement to go see Juliet. Thank you all so much for being here. Theater. You can check out behind the scenes content, clips from the show, and more by following them on social at And Juliet B-Way, which is spelled out A-N-D Juliet B-Way. Speaking of social channels, you can follow me on Instagram at Ruby Fierceberg or at Broadway News. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for sharing everything. Enjoy your final hours of Broadway Con.